Hey leaders, thanks so much for watching again. We are kicking off 2016 this Sunday for our first Sunday night youth group of the year. Couldn't be more excited. And then after this Sunday, we've actually got the following Sunday off because we'll be away at our winter retreat. And that's why I'm here in my office this Sunday, or for this video, because we are just slam-packed getting ready for this retreat. Lots of planning, lots of prep. And our tech team is working really hard to make sure that we've got everything we need for the weekend away. And so they've been working hard, so I get to do the video here in my office instead of our fancy green screen room so that they can focus on the retreat stuff. But we are so looking forward to this Sunday and kicking things off. And we're kicking off with a topic just about New Year's and resolutions and how can you make this year better than better than last year and all that kind of stuff. And it's stuff that's fresh in our minds at this time of year. So we're at the very beginning, before I get up and do our talk time on Sunday, we're going to check out a video by a little kid named Kid President, and he talks about just some great inspirational ideas as we kick off into a new year, as we have a fresh start, and as we're thinking about things for maybe the very first time, how can we better charge into a new year with some inspiration and some good thoughts? And he kind of gets that going in the video, and then we'll dive into some other stuff with scripture and some other pointers and tips and some real life application kind of stuff. As we're looking at a new year, how can we set our students up to have bigger goals and better goals and goals that they can achieve with the power of our community, with the power of God? Our students have a lot going on. There's college applications to be filled out, and they're starting college next year, and there's driver's license to be gotten, confirmation classes kicking up, and we're starting brand new into that, and maybe their family's moving again, or they got to get their grades up, or our 8th graders moving into high school, our high schoolers moving into college. There's a lot going on this year. And if we're not careful, we get so caught up in the busyness and we lose focus of what really matters most. And the message we want to communicate this week to our students is that they're not going at it alone. That's why we have small groups and Bible studies and our proximity weekday hangouts that are happening now in this new year after school sometimes here at the Onona campus and out at Seminole Rec for our 360 campus. And that's why we have friends and families. We don't have to do this alone. We have opportunities to do this life with other people. And there's something about a new year that makes us want to be better. We want to be better than last year. We want to be a better friend, a better brother and sister. We want to be better in school or better on our sports teams. There's something about this time of year that makes us want to start something new. Now, how can you be more awesome this year than you were last year? Now, tonight, it's Wednesday night, and we just finished with our high school Bible study, and I asked them that question. How often do you think about a faith-related goal? And the room was kind of silent. And so I want to challenge you at youth group, especially high school small groups, talk about that. What's something that you can do for your faith this year? Do you ever think about your faith? Do you ever think about what's the next step in my faith, or do we just kind of fumble around and feel like we're fine? How can you be more awesome this year than you were last year? And the truth is, we're made from love, from God's love, from the love of our parents. We're made from love to be love, to spread love. So what do you love? What or who do you spend your love on? Because here's the thing, love is louder than anything else we could do. It's louder than anything we could say or act on or pretend to believe, because love is louder. Love says a lot about who you are and where you want your life to end up later on. It's easy to follow the trail of your time, your affection, your energy, your money, your allegiance, because at the end of that trail, we see a throne. And whatever or whoever is on that throne is what you value the most. And on that throne is what you worship. And whether you believe it or not, whether you recognize it or not, it's really what you worship. We sometimes try to fool ourselves into saying we worship something that's better or something that we might not actually do, but really at the end of that line of what you spend your time with, what you spend your money with, what do you worship? Is God there? Is somebody else there or something else there? And so this week we're talking about that to say, what do we focus on in 2016? How can we let our faith drive us into this new year? And as we kick off a new year, we talk about the most important thing we can do to start right. Now in Matthew chapter 22, verses 36 through 38, it says, the disciples are asking, "Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law?" And Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment." We've heard it before. We've done sermons on it. We've done whole Sunday night youth groups on this verse. But as you charge into a new year, let's really talk about this. How can love affect your faith? How can you make a goal about what you love? Because at the end of that line, that line of where you spend your energy and your time and your affection, where you spend that much time is what you love. So what's something we do when we love something? We talk about it. So what do you talk about the most? If I followed you around for a day, I could probably hear you talk about a few things that you love. For students, if they have a crush or somebody that their friends know about, they talk about it. Now, if we look at Scripture in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34, the second half of that verse says, "For the mouth speaks out of what fills the heart." So what do you talk about? Is it something that you can make a new goal in 2016? The second way that we love things is, well, what do you spend most of your time with or participating in? Guys don't spend 5 hours a day playing video games or watching sports because they hate it. Girls will plan weeks in advance to watch The Bachelorette or some other TV or gushy movie because they care about it. Again, if I followed you around for an entire day, I could probably see where you spend your time because that's what you love. The other way we love things is we spend money on it. We invest in it. And that comes from Scripture as well. That comes from different ways of talking about things. Some people think it's totally okay spending $5 on a single cup of coffee at Starbucks because they love it. And for me, I love a good steak, so I'll spend money on that. Yet again, if I followed you around for a day, I could probably see what it is that you easily spend money on because you love it. What are you investing in? What do you hold as a treasure in your heart? And then the last thing, and the last way that we show our affection is we memorize it. You know your favorite song lyrics. And you know the video game levels that you're working on for our students. You can quote movies. For me, it's not math, but some people can do math. But if you look at Psalms 119, verse 55, it talks about that so clearly that we go to the Lord first because he's our joy. So your 2016 could be drastically different if we first focus on how can I better show love this year. Yes, other stuff needs our attention, but you can give that other stuff better attention after love comes first. Because here's what love does in our lives. Love focuses you on what really matters, rather than the stuff that we think matters. But that stuff sometimes doesn't in the long run. So this year, how can you be a better you than last year? And how can you make a faith-connected goal and think about your faith in a new way? Because if we don't make faith goals, we end up with a small God. We end up with a God that's more of a mystery and distant than a friend and close. And so that's my hope for our students. As we were wrapping up Bible study tonight, I was thinking, we've got to start talking about faith goals. We've got to start talking about what's the next step in your faith. And if you don't have all the answers, our job as leaders is to come back to our students and say, let's figure out this stuff together. If you don't know where you are in your faith, let's figure that out together. So this year, as leaders of students in ministry this year, let's focus on that. Let's help our students this Sunday night make a faith goal. Let's help our students focus on love and recognize and actually think about the way they spend their time and their money and what they memorize and what they talk about. Is it love? Is it things that prove God is bigger than anything we could possibly imagine? So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you at 4:45 here on the Onona campus to share some wins and prayer requests. But our challenge this week is how can we focus on love and focus on a new faith goal to take us to the next level in our faith? Some students don't know that. Some students don't know how to take that next step, and our job is to help them with that. So we'll see you this Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye, guys.